hot weathers, a lot of palm trees. I think we're in the city of Jericho, the city of palm trees.
Look over there, there's a camera.
Hey, I'm Joseph.
Hey, I'm Liam.
Welcome to S1E17 or your kids' TV.
I know you're enjoying the Bible story times, but this is what we need you to do.
Subscribe, like, and hit the notification button so you can be notified if we make a new video.
I think the wind's coming.
Hello Kids TV fans, welcome to another session of Untold Bible Stories, and today we're going to continue the story of Micah, the man that made idols. What's going to happen to him? We found a new priest. Stay tuned until to see what happened next.
Now in those days, Israel had no king, and the tribe of Dan was trying to find a place where they could settle, but they had not yet moved into the land assigned to them, and the land was divided among the tribes of Israel. So, the men of Dan chose from their clans 5 capable warriors from the town of Zorah and Eshtaol to scout out a land for them to settle in. When these warriors arrived in the hill country of Ephraim, they came to Micah's house and they spent the night there. While at Micah's house, they recognized a young Levite's accent, so they went over and asked him, "Who brought you here? Or what are you doing in this place? Why are you here?" He told them about his agreement with Micah and that he had been hired as Micah's personal priest. Then they said, "Ask God whether or not our journey will be successful. Go in peace." The priest replied, "For the Lord is watching over your journey."
I don't think this word of the priest is from the Lord. Come on, the guy is supposed to serve the Lord alone, and he's serving priest of idols. His prediction might come to pass, but I, for one, don't think it's from the Lord. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Drop them in the chat below. Let's continue.
So the 5 men went on to the town of Laish, and they noticed the people living carefree lives like the Sidonians. They were peaceful and secure. So 600 men from the tribe of Dan, armed with weapons of war, set out from Zorah and Eshtaol. They camped at a place called Kirkith Jearim in Judah, which is called Mahanadan to this day. Then they went up from there into the hill country of Ephraim and came to the house of Micah. The 5 men who had scouted out the land around Laish explained to the others, "These buildings contain a sacred ephod, as well as some household items, a carved image, and a cast idol. What do you think you should do?" The 5 men turned off the road and went over to Micah's house, where the young Levite lived, and greeted him kindly. As the 600 armed warriors from the tribe of Dan stood at the entrance of the gate, the 5 scouts entered the shrine and removed the carved image, the sacred ephod, and the household items, and the cast idol.
It's that how worse Israel has strayed to. They're so idolatrous, to the extent that they steal idols now as an informant plan and sneak to steal idols, a nation called by the name of God, in a covenant to worship him alone, now fighting for idols. God have mercy. Sting girls, my brothers and sisters, might start as a small, little lies here and there, but if care is not taken, can develop to something worse like we see here. God have mercy on all of us. Let's continue.
Meanwhile, the priest was standing at the gate with 600 armed warriors. When the priest saw the men carrying all the objects out of Micah's shrine, he said, "What are you doing?" "Be quiet and come with us," they said. "Be a father and priest to all of us. Isn't it better to be a priest for an entire tribe and clan of Israel than for the household of just one man?" The young priest was quite happy to go with them, so he took along the sacred ephod, the household items, and the carved image.
This is super funny. Now the priest shows what a calm man he is. Instead of stopping them from stealing, he now joins them for bigger opportunities. What a world we live in.
They turned and started on their way again, placing their children, livestock, and possessions in front of them. When the people from the tribe of Dan were quiet, a distance from Micah's house, the people who lived near Micah came chasing after them. They were shouting as they caught up with them. The man of Dan turned around and said to Micah, "What's the matter? Why have you called these men together and chased after us like this?" "What do you mean? What's the matter?" Micah replied. "You've taken away all the gods I have made and my priests, and I have nothing left." The man of Dan said, "What should you say? There are some short-tempered men around here who might get angry and kill you and your family." So the man of Dan continued on their way. When Micah saw that there were too many of them for him to attack, he turned around and went home. And with Micah's idol and his priests, the men of Dan came to the town of Laish, whose people were peaceful and secure. They attacked with swords and burned the town to the ground. There was no one to rescue the people, for they lived at a great distance from Sidon and had no allies nearby. This happened in the valley near Beth-Rehob. Then the people of the tribe of Dan rebuilt the town and lived there. They renamed the town Dan after their ancestor Israel's son, but had been originally called Laish. Then they set up the carved image, and they appointed Jonathan, son of Gershom, son of Moses, as their priest. This family continued as priests for the tribe of Dan until the exile. So Micah's carved image was worshipped by the tribe of Dan as long as the tabernacle of God remained at Shiloh.
And the tribe of Dan continued in idolatry, but they are going to pay for that sin of worshipping idols some years later. There is even a reference of it here in verse 30, where it says, Jonathan and his sons serve as priests for the idol until captivity. That captivity is a captivity of Israel. Israel will continue in idolatry until God become fed up with their sin and allow the Assyrians to defeat and take them out of their land to foreign lands. As at now, those tribes of Israel captured by the Assyrians are called lost 10 tribes of Israel because they haven't been able to come back home to Israel. No one knows where they are or who they are now. There have been speculations, but no one specifically knows who they are now. They have lost their homes and lived as foreigners elsewhere, all because of sin. I believe you learned so much from this already. Let's ask for the grace of God to stay in line with His word and stop sinning. If it's not so, our end is worse. As we know, whoever doesn't stop sinning faces judgment of God in the lake of fire. God help us all. That's the end of our episode today. Be sure to like and share the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And as always, you should watch some amazing videos from us right now.